Okay, so this is the first video blog for Type B trading, and the date is June 26th, 2018. This was the first trial trading that I did on the new system. I am using our basic strategies, and I'm just going to kind of go over what I did. Now, just a disclaimer: I did very small trades, and the reason was this was the first time I had my brand new, I've never used it before, yesterday, eSignal hooked up to Interactive Brokers, and I really wanted to get a feel for slippage, how quickly things were getting through, order fills, shorting. And so at the beginning of the day, I had never traded on eSignal and had never used a third-party API, so it was just a learning experience. So just hide this for a second. What I did, now eSignal offers the Trade Ideas scanner, and I'm on the trial right now. I'm trying to see what the functionality is in the version, the plugin that's here in eSignal, because it's substantially cheaper than getting it through Trade Ideas itself. So if it's a full version, then I'm likely to stay. And it does seem to be a pretty full version. I wish that I had taken a screenshot of my gappers this morning, but here, let's kind of look at this. So yeah, no, this isn't going to be much help. During the pre-market, it was pretty obvious there were just kind of a few stocks moving on Catalyst. The market was down yesterday pretty substantially, and then today it was pretty flat, but there was a GE movement on Catalyst, and then you can see some of the other stocks here which had some Catalyst movement, and Micron was one of those as well. And Micron pretty early kind of started setting up to be tradable, so I just made the decision going in, even though you can see there's some potentially although if I had traded this, well, yeah, wouldn't have gone all that far. But I mean, there's some potentially tradable moves in some of these other stocks. But what I really settled on was just to go ahead and do Micron. I did it for a few reasons. So let me go ahead and maximize this, because right now it's just all scrunched. Okay. So I'm using the trade from screen functionality with eSignal. I have to say I'm a fan of much of it. I do need to get some key bindings programmed in, though. I really don't want to be relying on trying to click a tiny little box, and I will in future video blogs kind of show you how that works, especially since the box is right next to an R that would reverse my position, and of course I would never go into an instant reverse. That's completely against strategy. You're going to take loss from slippage, and at that point you're just flailing, and I don't flail. So I really want to get a key binding that would kill my position, just get me out, and even some key bindings to enter and to do partial sells, because right now, as you can see, you've kind of got to enter your amount, and I need to explore the eSignal key binding a little bit. I'd like one where I could just do quarter of the position, third of the position, that kind of thing, and then a kill button that gets you out. So I'll be working on that this evening and going forward. All right, so before we get way too winded here, as you can see, Micron, like most stocks, gaps that moved today, it all gapped up. Yesterday was again a big steep drop, so there was some good news that came out in several stocks, and almost all of them gapped up substantially. So I chose Micron because, as you can see, although it's just got some beautiful trading movement. It's a high cap stock, lots and lots of retail trading going on here. The range is really not that large, and since these were test trades, I wanted to go ahead and keep things relatively simple. So to zoom in a little bit here, and I'm again kind of working on the best ways to do that, but just to zoom in a little bit. So we're on the 1 minute chart, and so to come back here, so the open, yeah, this is really bulky. I have got to find a better way to zoom this chart. So if you come back to the open, so we had gapped up, and then after the open, the stock took a very quick dive for about 7 minutes, and then we jumped up, and we appeared to begin to form the opening range banner, the bear banner that I like. That's part of my my strategy. Now, here's the thing: I wasn't completely on strategy because of this right here. The strategy calls for this to occur as a stock has gapped down. Well, the stock had gapped up, but it's just such a beautiful looking bear banner. I'm just kind of okay. All right, we're gonna go for it. So I entered the buy. I actually tried to enter a short about here, and it kind of took a while for things to happen. There were confirmation screens I later had to disable, and so obviously I haven't even tried this as a demo. Not going to do it. Just was going to come in, trade small. Bought 20 shares, $1,000. So by the time I actually got my short, the price was at 54.22, which, as you can see, is way up here. So I really didn't, when it started, I had my order in. I didn't hear anything, didn't see any indication I had a fill. Didn't even see my order. I was actually using the trade manager right here. This was what I was using to enter it, and it was just clunky as heck. So I had no idea whether or not I had a fill, and then when it finally said fill, it was way up here. I'm like, well, it's already out of my pattern, so I cut it, and I actually cut it right at the same place. It was just a complete wash. Of course, there was $2 of commission. So anyway, I got out of that. All right, that one was a loser. If you come over here, we start setting up what really kind of looks like a symmetrical triangle. Well, it is a symmetrical triangle. Now, symmetrical triangle is a red-black play. It's a 50-50. There's not really any way to know exactly what the price is going to do. But we're not crystal ballers. We like 50-50. We like red-black plays. So as long as we have a good entry with a great stop, we're going to go into a 50-50 play. So my logic here was that we had gapped up. We started forming the triangle right away. I considered the momentum was likely up. I expected to get this range right here for profit. Actually, no, I counted this range right here for profit. I counted this as the beginning. So we had the third in. We had the 1, 2, 3. And so I went ahead and bought on the confirmation, which was the third. I got a really good buy-in, 53.90, so about here. So that was nice. That one worked well. And as you can see, it kind of came up here, traded sideways. I don't know why I sold here. I sold half my position here. I don't know why. Honestly, there's no reason to. My stop loss was here. It was a great stop loss. There was nothing to worry about here. If it had turned the other way, I'd have had a minimal loss. I should never have sold half my position here, but I did. Went ahead, bank profit, moved my stop loss back up to the buy. And then boom, I got exactly the movement I wanted. And as you can see, I actually sold out pretty much right at the top and finished out my position there. Made a small profit, but again, I only had 1,000 shares, so my commission actually ate up the profits, or almost. I think I was up by $4 at this point. So we start setting up another what looks like to me to be a bear triangle. It looks like a flat bottom bear triangle. So I want to go ahead and short this. I enter the short, and really 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, here's a point, here's a point, here's a point. So that's my confirmation. So I want to enter here. On the third point, I want to go short. So I went short, and what happened was price action started going down, and it dropped below our support line. And, okay, it was just kind of sputtering, so I figured, well, maybe it'll just make a candlestick. The candlestick tags are coming down here. No, it ended the candlestick under, and then started kind of doing some stuff. So it's like, well, all right, this could be my bear move, but it doesn't have that strong feel. And now I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, all right, maybe this isn't a bear triangle at all. Maybe this is actually a symmetrical channel. And if so, then I know that's going to break to the upside. Well, I would suspect that's going to break to the upside. So I went ahead and got myself out at 54.25, so about here. And that's one thing that on eSignal, it shows the candle. You do your buy-in, but it only shows where you actually do the buy if you're zoomed in enough. And I kind of haven't yet figured out how to get that zoomed in. Ugh, I don't like that at all. This is going to take some getting used to. This is definitely going to take some getting used to. So, oh jeez. Oof. Yeah. Welcome to my first day with eSignal. I actually like the program, but it's going to take some getting used to. So I wish I could kind of enlarge this again, because hold on, there was something that maybe I could try. Yeah. All right, so this was the channel right here. So I'd gotten out, and okay, see now we actually can see. So this is where I had sold short, and this is where I had bought to cover. So at this point, my channel starts acting like a channel. It goes back up. All right, I've got a good line. It starts to come down. I'm like, okay. So here's my support line. I will buy in on this support line and wait for either that move back up to the support line or the break further up that I suspect is coming. And so I bought in, and we dropped below. I don't yet have the drawing tools up, but obviously this would be your support line. We dropped below. So I got stopped out here. My stop loss was set pretty tight. Boom, I'm out. And that's fine. That was a short loss. I was at a 30 share positions, about $1,500. So I think this is about $23 lost. Okay. No, this wasn't $23 lost. I went back later. I calculated what would have happened if I had done $10,000 positions at every position. And at a $10,000 position, this would have been $23 loss. So in reality, obviously, at only $1,500, it was a lot less than that. So came back down, and stock is clearly losing volume, kind of looking funky. Okay, all right. Not sure I'm going to do anything else with this until, and again, I wish I could really zoom in on this part. This is the problem. We started building a symmetrical triangle, and oh man, this is ungood. I want this to be taller. So as you can see, we dropped down. We started doing a symmetrical. Okay, so red black play. Momentum's been up. We're going to go up. So I wait till we have our confirmation. This was 1, 2. This was the third. This is kind of a messy, choppy triangle, but I just intended to get a quick win if possible. Bought in and kind of fell out of the pattern. I would have been perfectly justified to just bail here. My stop loss, though, was down around here and never got hit. So I stayed and came up. Again, it's out of pattern. It's acting funky. I covered half my position here. I really shouldn't have, but I did. Gonna have to work on that on eSignal. Just not familiar enough with this yet to really know, okay, here's where I should be exiting. It sounds silly, but when you use a completely different system, it kind of has a completely different feel. And, you know, hey, we err on the side of caution, right? All right, so I got half my position cleared, and then I kind of let the rest ride. Up here, it was just kind of jiggling, and I went ahead and liquidated the rest. It did wind up going a little bit more, but you know, this took a while. This was out of. At this point, it's undirected. Nobody's at the wheel, and obviously, if I had stayed in, I probably would have been caught in that. Anyway, this worked out fine, and all told, I grossed about $25 today, which sounds like just absolutely nothing, but in reality, you know, I'm okay with it. I did, I did 12 trades here, but, you know, obviously I did multiple covers. So, if you look at the summary, I actually netted about $13 because commissions were $12.23. However, again, I'm running $1,000 positions, $500 positions. You know, this was all about testing. So I did some math, and if I had done the same position that I did at my largest position, where I had a $10,000, a little bit more than that, buy-in. If I had done that every single trade, and then I had sold full or sold half, depending on how I traded it, I would have come up with $124. So $124, and then I'd have taken $12 of commission out of that, so I'd have made $112 today. Now here's the thing. If all I'm trading is $10,000, that means I'd have made over my 1% today. So just messing around, just fooling around, and actually considering my position sizes, and considering I only ever traded one, and considering this has been a little bit of a mess with the learning curve, I'm okay with it. I'm pretty happy. So, all right, there we go. Vlog number 1 down. Many more to come.